We'll start with Unpacking. So this game is interesting. Let me bring up the overlay. This is an interesting game, and maybe I wouldn't refer to it as a game. It is a video game. Is it a game? I'm not sure, but I would definitely call it an experience. To me, it's a video game because it's presented in a video game format. It's an interactive experience. Is it a game? Is it something that you play? I would say no, but I wouldn't argue on that because you might have fun doing what you do in this video game, so you can consider it a game. Overall, I didn't have fun. I enjoyed the experience, and what I got from the video game, it's something unique, again, as an experience, but I didn't have fun during my time playing or interacting with this video game. This is overall. Maybe my opinion would change if I had played in more parts, because I played on a Thursday for a while and like 30% of the game, and the other 70% I played the following day on a Friday, last stream of 2023. Maybe if I had played in playthroughs apart from each other, like instead of 2, 3 and in the span of 2 weeks, maybe I had enjoyed more the game, and because I played it too close, like continuously, maybe I felt it more repetitive that way. I'm not sure, but still, this is my opinion. This is the experience that I had. So overall, it wasn't fun, but I appreciate having played it. So now I know what I'm talking about, and I can recommend it if this is the kind of experience that you would enjoy. And let me get into detail, because this game has some ups and downs, some things that I like more, some other things that I don't like that much. For start, I'll tell you the thing that I liked the most of this game. This is this game's greatest achievement. It's the way it transmits the story that it wants to tell. Because it's surprising that it manages to tell the story of this game, the story that this video game is trying to transmit, by placing objects in specific places. The core mechanic of this game is you get an item from the box, because the story tells that this person, the protagonist, is moving from house to house, so you unbox their belongings, and then you place them on what you consider the right place. Just by doing that, first, the concept is very twisted, because just by placing objects to be able to tell a story, it's surprising and it's incredible. It's this game's greatest achievement. It's a core mechanic that it has never happened before, like at least that I know. It's too weird. Like if you, on paper, you would think this is too strange. You're not going to manage to tell a story by placing objects in places. But this game excels at doing that. I think that the story that it wants to tell, it's very clear and it's easy to understand. There are no loose gaps. It makes sense, and the protagonist goes through some stages. Each house is a stage, because the protagonist, I believe, is a she. She moves from house to house, and in every stage of her life she's in a situation. So the house, not just the objects that she's carrying from house to house, also the environment where you are in is telling you, kind of like Dark Souls. The environment tells you the story. So this is happening in this game. So for me, the greatest achievement of this game is how it manages to tell a story that is solid, but the way it does. My second positive of this game, it's something that is very often on my reviews. You might think that I'm crazy for sound effects, but this game does that really well. Sound effects, because it's something overlooked usually, and when it's not very present. You can't notice, which is at the same time the purpose of the sound sound effect, that the thing, what the sound, it feels so natural that it's not jarring, it's not out of place, it doesn't take you out of the unreality of the video game. But I was surprised on how simple this game was, that they paid attention to something so little, like that minor detail. When you have an object and you place it on a surface, it makes a sound effect. But this same object, if you place it in another surface, let's say on the carpet, it makes a different sound. And also, because the first surface was a tough table, like a wooden table, and the second was the floor, the carpet, they are different materials. But also, the object itself from another object, let's say there's object 1 is a plush, and object 2 is a radio cassette from the 90s. One is soft, the second one is tough. So by themselves, they also make different sound when you place them on the surface that you put them on. So maybe it's me, I'm crazy or sucker for sound effects, but it surprised me. I wasn't expecting that level of detail for an indie game. I was surprised because maybe it's me, maybe because I wasn't expecting that, but it was a pleasant surprise. And finally, my smallest positive for Unpacking, it's the music, because it goes with the game quite well. And also, if you don't like the background music or the background sound, at certain points during the game, you have the option to turn on a radio and you are listening to some music of that time, because the game goes from 2000, I don't remember exactly, it was like 2008 or so, 7, 8, up to 2018 or something. I'm probably wrong, I don't remember. It's mid 2000 to late 2010s. So these are my positives. I don't have much to say about the music other than it's nice and I enjoy it. It's not something that is annoying, it's not repetitive, goes with the game well, and it suits it. Something that you cannot say for every game, so that's something. As a final note, on the positive side, I have some special mentions, some things that I liked but they didn't make the cut for the being on the list of positives, that are the pixel art. Pixel art is very nice. Between pixel art and the music, I think it's better solved, the music, than the pixel art, but also it's special mention. Pixel art is really nice and it's beautiful. And also, as another special mention, it's the achievements or the secondary objectives that you have in the game, that if you combine different objects or you place one object in a very specific place, you unlock some stickers that you can use in your postcards when you have them available. There's like a mini game or secondary game within Unpacking that you can put stickers on a postcard and decorate it, so you get stickers for that by accomplishing the achievements. Totally secondary, it's not part of the main game. And I think it's not just these achievements. What they do is not make the game just place things on places. It makes you think a little bit more and go beyond. So, oh, what if I do this with this and this with that, and I put them here or together or separated, etc. Better to have it than not have it. So, and this is everything for the positives. Now let's go with the not so pleasant negatives. And I have 3 negatives, but actually it's one. No, it's not all 3 one. I'll explain. I just have 1 negative, but negative 2 and 3, because I don't have any more negatives other than number 1. They were going to be special mentions. I'll say it again, but they were going to be special mentions. But because I didn't have any more negatives than the one and only I have for this game, I've included them as a negative 2 and negative 3. So as I'm saying, my only negative, the only critic, and I think it hurts the game very badly, but it's in itself, it's in its nature, because this game is so unique and it's a unique experience. it comes with a very repetitive mechanic. So you start when this girl is on her late teens or teens. I never got to see clearly what her age was, but you start during the teens, and then you are decorating the room with her belongings. And then she moves to a share house or rental house, to another house, but not her parents' house, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And then you carry over from some objects from the previous house, from the first house, to the second house. So you have to place most of the previous objects that you have already placed on shelves, wardrobe, the correct place, what you consider their correct place. You have to do it again. And then she moves to another house, but she has more belongings. So when you go to the third house, you start over and you have to place not all but most of her belongings from the second house, which are more than the first house. And this goes on and on until the end of the game. By the end of the game, I think she has a collection of books that I know them by memory. It's all the time the same books, the same collection of movies, the same DVDs, again and again. When you are on your fourth or fifth stage in her life or house where she moves into, oh my, it's the same and same again and again. I understand it's telling you that she carry over some things and not some others, so she gets rid of some of her objects for a reason. This is the story that the game is telling you. But oh boy, is repetitive, very repetitive, and it's my only complaint about this game. Maybe I should have, as I said, splitted my gameplay into different days, different parts, not so continuously or in 2 days as I played it. Maybe I would have noticed less this repetitiveness, but still it would have been the same. So this is my biggest and only critique that I have, the only complaint that I have about this game, which is beautiful. I appreciate having played it. Will I play it again? Probably not. Will I recommend it? I think so, if I think you'll enjoy, first, the story that is telling you, and second, if you would enjoy this kind of video game. I don't feel that like placing objects on specific places, it's something fun, but there's people for everything in the world. So there are people who enjoy doing your taxes and they love it, so why not? My other two negatives, number 2 and number 3, I don't have any more. I would stop there. I wouldn't criticize the game anymore. My other complaints are special mentions, but as I don't have anything on the list, I have included them, but they are minor, very little. First one is, as it says, unclear size of books. When I found myself placing some books on shelves next to each other, and I saw a gap sometimes. And if you watch the live stream of that day, you will see there's a clear gap, but the book, it's not clear if it fits or not. And sometimes it's the right size, but you need to move some others. It's confusing. And sometimes you want to put, there's a shelf and you want to put a book on the left side or on the right side, but the game doesn't let you choose. It has to go on one side. If you want it on the other side, you have to put things up until the moment when you get that book on the opposite side. I don't understand why is that. It's not important. It's totally unimportant, but it's a detail. And when you pay attention to the sound that the object makes, depending on the surface, this is at the same level. It's a level of detail. Like, why are you forcing me to put this object on one side, not the other side? Why, if there's a gap for a magazine or a theme book, why can't I put it there if it's clear that there's a gap? And sometimes it's clear that there's a gap, but it's not clear if the book will fit or not. You got a thick book, it doesn't fit, you try with another book or a slim DVD, and then it fits. It's something minor, but I found like, I thought I could, but I didn't. And the other minor very minor negative. It's a specific placement for some object. That this happened to me at the very last stage in her life of the main character. There were two objects that I started this final house, and I started placing by rooms like I normally did, but I went one go. I had two objects that I didn't find the right place, along with a few others. And then I went a second go and I placed all of them except for still these two. And I didn't manage to find the right place, because sometimes you get one object that it's in a box, but it doesn't belong to that room where the box is. It belongs to another room. Maybe you find it in the kitchen, but it belongs to the bathroom. These two objects, they belong to the room they were in, but within this room you need to place them in a specific way, in a specific side or area of that room, and it's not clear. If you see at the very end of my playthrough, there are two objects that I wanted to place, one in the bedroom, one in the baby's room, and for some reason both go on the floor, but you need to put it in an exact place. I didn't like that, because there's no reason why they should go there, or I didn't see why it has to go not in front of a chair but next to the chair, or why in one of the corners of the bathroom but not in the other corner. I still don't know, and I still don't understand. But it's not something major. It's not something that breaks the gameplay. So, as I said, very simple. The game is simple. The game is, I would say, amazing and awesome, but more than that, it's interesting. I think that's what summarizes this game for me. It's a very interesting experience. It's a video game because it's an interactive piece of art or work, but to me it's not a game, because I didn't felt like playing and I didn't have fun. It's like you're doing a task that you enjoy, but it's a job, it's a task, it's not something that you are enjoying. With that said, my final score for Unpacking, it's quite clear, but it's none other than a Simon out of 10, because this game, it's increasing in its repetitiveness. It can be fun if you like this kind of game or video game, but as you go forward in the game and you go to another level, to the next level, to next stage of this girl's life, it becomes increasingly repetitive. In every stage, in every step, you carry over the objects from one house to another house. You have to take these objects to their correct place from the previous stage plus some others, and then in the next stage the same from the last stage plus some others. So you're having an increasing amount of objects to place on the correct place. So it's, by the end of the game, you've placed the same objects again and again and again, plus a few more every time, 8-10 times. I don't remember how many stages it had at the end, but like 8 or 9 stages. So it can be fun, but it's not just repetitive, because all video games are repetitive. What describes this game is increasingly repetitive. For me, as I said, it's a video game because it's an interactive piece of work, but it's not a game because I didn't have fun. But at the same time, I find it an interesting experience that you might want to go through at least once. So it's a unique experience. You won't find this type of storytelling anywhere else. So there you have it. My final score for Unpacking, it's a Simon out of 10. I think it was very simple to get to this final score. I feel it's the game that it took me less to realize what my final score was out of all of the ones that I have reviewed in this channel. Also, let me know if you agree, if you disagree, what you like the most and the least, if you played it, if you've watched me, what's your opinion? Let me know, because I'm also interested. Did you feel the same as me, that it was repetitive, or maybe you played it in more sessions than me? I played it in two sessions. Let me know. I wanna know.